Well, good evening. This is Satella DeVoe from ASAR Global Spheres Apostolic Equipping Center. I wanted to just come on and have a quick word with you and just share a little bit about what I sense is going on in the atmosphere and our environments wherever we are. So let me first off say good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might find yourself listening or watching this, greetings to you. I want to talk about dealing with fear in troubling times. And there's so much going on in the world today. We're in the midst of a pandemic, COVID-19, coronavirus. There's all of these things going on. You know, uncertainty is in the atmosphere to a certain degree. However, with that, I want to say, I was having a conversation with my nieces recently, and they were very concerned as school was getting ready to reopen in September. And, we did not know if they would have to be in the physical location of school. Was it going to be virtual? What was the situation? How was it going to be? And in the midst of that, there started a conversation aroma, something put out in the atmosphere that you had to be vaccinated in order to attend school in the physical. They are not vaccinated and they don't want to. My nieces are 12 and 14 years old, certainly well abreast of what is going on. We've made sure that they know. And they have decided at this time and moment, they do not want to be vaccinated. As they're having conversation with their peers, their friends, as to whether school would open, do you have to be vaccinated to go to school? It began to create an anxiety. On the midst of that, on the heels of that comes this next set of information into the environment about the volcano in the Canary Islands in Africa, about 100-foot wave coming down, taking the whole east coast of America, all the way down into the Caribbean, and here where we are into the Bahamas. You can go online and you can go on your television, go to the Weather Channel, and you can watch this. You can see this volcano is erupting. And all of these fears are in the atmosphere. What is going to happen to that? In the Bahamas here, we just came out of a 100-year hurricane, Dorian, that happened 2 years ago. Recovery mode is still in place. Again, a lot of uncertainty in the atmosphere because we've just come out of an election as well. Change of government, changes in the atmosphere. Fear is in the atmosphere because the very process of change brings uncertainty. It brings a certain levels of anxiety to you. Even adults were calling me and saying, did you hear this? Did you hear that? What did you hear about opening of school? What did you hear about this volcano up there? What did you hear about right now? There's several hurricanes off of the African coast. So it's all of these things that seemingly are so much larger than you are that can affect you, that can really transform your life in very impactful ways that you seem not to have any control of. And I said, wait a minute. In America, they're dealing with whether there's going to be the debt ceiling is going to be met. Is federal government going to show down, is going to slow down or close down? Lots of people are unemployed world over. On the heels of that, it comes that there's a shortage of food and food supplies because of transshipment, transatlantic transshipment is not moving as freely as it can because one, there are not enough people to either pilot these ships, not enough workers to be on the ship to load the ships, not enough people, if they are able to get into a port, to unload what is there. So there's all this barrage of information that is out there that it's going on, and it's seeming to create this fear and anxiety in people. And I am very careful with my environment and how I guard what I allow to come into my sphere, because I want to keep my vibration, my frequency elevated. And as I was listening to all of this, I said, wait a minute, what is going on? What is all of this fear that's in the atmosphere? What is all of this anxiety that is in the atmosphere that is going on? And as I was looking at all of this, I said to myself, you need to go and have a conversation with Yahweh concerning this, because something is not right. And I began to look up the word fear. And as I began to look up this word fear, I found something surprising. We say fear in the English language, but if you go back into the Hebraic of it and you look up this word, it means dreadful. It means to make afraid, fearful, to bring terror to somebody, to bring this sense of forbidding or foreboding that things are beyond your control, things are spiraling around you, and it's dreadful, it's terrible, it's the most awful thing that can happen to you. And I began to say, well, okay, Yahweh has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. And so a sound mind means that, well, first, love is the highest vibration there is. It means peace. Well, it's not the highest vibration, but love is certainly a pathway that leads you into that higher frequencies and vibrations that will allow you to rise above all of the noise, the anxiety, the dreadfulness that is in the marketplace. He gave us a spirit of love and of a sound mind. So if he gave us a spirit of love and a sound mind, then the question becomes, because a sound mind means that you're able to think, you're able to process what is happening in your environment, what is going on. You're able to filter what is coming into you, because all of that information that's coming in is layering on another foundation that you're carrying around. So I began to say, where does fear reside in the body? Where does fear reside in the physical body? It is the root energy center in your body, at the base of your spine, between the anus and the sexual organ. That energy that is residing there, that is where fear can rest itself. Now, this is a very grounded area. It's the first center of the energy that flows through your body. And if you can make that first center unstable through anxiety, through stress, through fear, dreadfulness, you can topple or block the flow that would keep you in peace, that would keep you in harmony, all messed up. And so when I begin to look at this, I'm looking at my notes here, I began to say it's the mal de horror is what it's called. And it is the root center, the root energy center that is in your body. It's the foundation of the physical structure. It is the foundation of the energy body structure that you carry around. And what happens is your root center between the time of conception and age 7 has been impacted, has received a lot of information based on your family life at that time and socialization. What does this have to do with you as an adult or as a child? However long you've been alive, you are carrying in your body already energies, most likely that you've never dealt with. You know, if you were young and you were small and your parents told you not to turn something on, or not to go in a certain room, or not to bounce the ball in the house because it might break something, and you decided in your young self, well, I'm just, I'm just going to bounce my ball. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And you break something. Now you have this sudden dreadful fear among you. So that's been stored in your body because you don't know if you're going to get a whipping, if you're going to get something that you love taken away from you. You don't want, when your parents come home, to have to explain to him, how did the window broke? How did the vase get broken? Whatever the situation might have been in your younger years, it could have been around money, it could have been around anything. The foundation, if you haven't dealt with it, determines how you deal with stress, pressure, and anxiety as an adult. If you never learned how to clear your root center, your root energy center, if you never learned how to address those energies sitting in that place, most kids would, want to avoid having an encounter with their parents in reference to breaking a rule in the house. You'd want to hide. And as an adult, that's what begins to happen. You begin to feel like, this is out of my control again. So the feeling is familiar. This is out of my control again. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. Remember, we're dealing with fear in troubling times. How is your coping mechanism going to handle all of this stress that's in your environment? And what does it do? It creates disease, dis-ease in the body, in the mind. And now you're carrying around a frequency and a vibration that's actually going to magnetize to you more fear, more dread, more stress. And I said, you know something, where can we go? Where can we go to focus our mind on something else? Where can we go to look at the stress that's coming into us, address it, and say to ourselves, I'm not going to deal with that. How am I going to deal with it? And it came to me, the 23rd Psalm in the scriptures, because it says in verse 23, in chapter 23 and verse 4, let me read it here. It says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I, first person, I will not fear. I will not be in a dreadful mode. I will not hold on, take on, carry the energy, the frequency, the vibration of dreadfulness. I'm in a valley. There's coronavirus. Jobs have closed. Many of them will not open back up. There's migration movement of people. There's migration of people coming to my country out of Haiti from the earthquake that happened. There's a migration of them up at the Texas border. We're looking at it. All nations are in stress. And we're saying we cannot take on any more people. What are we going to do? I'm out of work. I lost my job. I lost my house. I'm living in a car. They're not going to pass the debt ceiling. What happens if the government shuts down and you work for the government? What happens if the government shuts down, and what happens to your Social Security check? It's a lot to be concerned about. Yes, but don't hold the information. Transmute the information of what is going on and begin to look. I will not be in dreadfulness. I will not be afraid. I will not be terrorized by this external circumstances in my environment. It goes on further in Psalms 27, verse 1. Whom shall I fear? For the Lord, Yahweh, is my salvation. Go down to verse 23, and it says, Psalms 27, verse 3 says, though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. My heart shall not be in dreadfulness. This is very important because your heart center expands many feet magnetically, energetically from your body. And as I said earlier, you don't want to be picking up the vibration of dreadfulness and fear and stress and anxiety because it creates disease in your body. Though an army may encamp against me, all of these things are happening at one time. You have a choice here. You have a choice to decide whether you want to walk in fear, dreadfulness, or do you want to elevate your frequency, your vibration? I would suggest to you, go and read the 23rd Psalm and the 27th Psalm. Because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to help you to begin to create a space of peace, of love, sound mind, which means clarity, that you're able to, from a place of rest, be able to look at your situation, look at your circumstance, and begin to say, wait a minute, maybe this chaos is an opportunity. I hated my job. I actually don't want to go back to that job. So what can I do to sustain myself in this current environment and pursue the things that I actually really want to do? That's written on my scroll of purpose and destiny. I've been wanting to move. My lease is gonna be up, or I'm not gonna be able to stay in this apartment or in this house anymore. Okay, where do I wanna go? Instead of looking at it from a place of dreadfulness, step back, go and read these two Psalms that will help to bring a level of peace to you and in your root center. Go online, find a meditation for the root center. It might say the root energy center, the root chakra. The first one, find a meditation, read the Psalms, get yourself into a state of peace, harmony, because the heart, we talk about heart coherence and having harmony in the heart. How can you have harmony in chaos? Easy. You make a decision. I will not be in dreadfulness. I will not be in dreadfulness. I'm walking through this valley. There's tremendous amount of uncertainty, but I will not be afraid. I will not be in terror. I will not be in dreadfulness. Though an army may encamp around me, I will not fear. Whom shall I fear? COVID-19, loss of a job, loss of a home. Those are all physical things. And if you're listening to this and you've lost a loved one, you have my deepest sympathy. But you're still here. You still have to be the first person in your life. Make a decision. Look at all of what has happened and determine the other side of chaos is opportunity. It could have been your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your child. They are no longer here, but you still are, which means that you still have something to fulfill. Don't get saturated. Don't sit down and watch the news that is filled with information that's going to block up your root energy center. Don't bury your head in the sand either. You must know what's going on, but take it in snippets, take it in little bites. I used to be a news junkie. I'd watch the news all day long. It didn't matter what I was doing, I'd have the news on. And it was just this barrage of information that really wasn't good for me. When in reality, as now, sometimes I may go 2 days, 3 days before I chime in and see, okay, what's going on out there? The basics I'm gonna know. I could pick up my Android and I can open up and get the highlights for the day and have an idea of what is going on. But I don't have to drink it all in. So I just wanted to come on here today. I just wanted to share with you. I just wanted you to know that there is peace in the midst of the storm, that this fear, this dreadfulness that's in the environment, that you can rise above it by simply choosing to. You rise above it. And as you rise above it, you decide that I am now going to make some decisions concerning my life. COVID-19, coronavirus. You know, some people are saying if you want to have your job, you got to take the vaccine. Some people are saying I'm in the vaccinated camp. People are in the unvaccinated camp. Whatever camp you're in, respect the other person's choice, because you have choice too. You always have choice. Most people don't always choose to use it. I will not fear. I will be in peace. I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted to drop that little bit of information. I hope that it's a blessing for you wherever it finds you. And I will see you real soon. Shalom.